Hey guys, want to bring you another video of a football life of the perfect backfield. And I would not say this is the best documentary. I guess maybe I can really relate since it was not my generation or had never seen any of the three players played since they're from the 70s. And so I guess it was more of a history lesson, which is good. But out of the three, if you told me to name the perfect backfield or any of the players or hear that term before this documentary, I did not really know any of them. Or I wouldn't say, like, I can't name why are they named as the perfect backfield. But I know only Larry Csonka out of the three because I guess for some reason his name stood out, and I guess out of the three, because since he did hold a Dolphins rushing record at one point, that he just flat out stood out between the three. So I guess it was a great lesson. Hopefully, people in my generation or maybe the older ones will find this useful. So Larry Csonka actually lives in Alaska right now. That's always one of the places he always wanted to live and retire. Jim Nick lives in, and Jim and Mercury Morris lives in Miami, Florida. They reunite in Alaska for this documentary and this footage. So it actually was an interesting journey. So for Jim and Mercury, they both traveled together to get to Larry, and it took them to go to Miami to Seattle, then Anchorage, and then to where Larry is. It's like, I can't really remember the exact city, but it's at the very top corner of Alaska. So it's very high up north of Alaska. But they were describing it took them 26 hours to get there. So that's kind of rough. And you could see Jim had a hard time getting there and really did not look comfortable when he got there. He was not very thrilled since it was very cold there. So some of the notes, Jim and Larry at one point together held out for more money from the Dolphins. Jim did not like Don Shula really. He did not really get along. Actually, all three did not, from what I could gather. Larry was always a troublemaker and played pranks. One of his famous pranks, according to him, was that he was able to grab an alligator out in the marsh of Florida and had some of the guards distract Shula while, and was able to get the alligator in the locker, and Shula was surprised that there was an alligator there. So it was those type of pranks, and I guess that was his most famous one that he could say that he had. Morris was really upset when they lost to the Cowboys in the Super Bowl, and kind of was not really sound like a team player. Said that, oh well, because the reporter asked, well, what do you think? Well, he said, it's not really my fault. I didn't really get to play and all that, and so you can't really blame this on me. And so the funny thing is, Don Shula's kind of mentality was, if you have any problems, you should talk to me first before you go talk to the media about it. So really got ripped there. Following season, Bob Greasy breaks his leg on week 5, so all three of those guys had to carry the offense for the team, and they really did. They ended up going perfect for the regular season. Morris and Csonka each ran over 1,000 yards. Jim took all the short yardage stuff and goal line. So they were part of the perfect season and went undefeated and won the championship. So no team has done that. Even you could say the mighty New England Patriots that one year, because they lost to the New York Giants. Imagine that. So that is still holding up. Going perfect for regular season and winning the Super Bowl. You can't say that with any team right now. You could say the perfect season, yes, the New England Patriots matched that, but you haven't gone perfect. No team has gone perfect except the Miami Dolphins of that one year. That's why they kind of named the trio the perfect backfield. So they won back-to-back championships, and so after that, in 1975, so the New World Football League made an offer, and so Joe Robbie paid each of those three players $55,000, and they made more in the playoffs. So they had more incentives to get into the playoffs and make more money that way than their salary of $55,000 each. All three signed to play. So Jim and Larry went to the WFL. There was another player, I guess, was a new player, recruit, draftee probably, that went to the Memphis Southmen in 1975, signed a contract that was quadruple their original salary. So that's a lot of money at the time. So Morris, because of that, he stayed back in Miami and was able to get his salary double because of those guys leaving for Memphis, for the WFL. And so because of that, because they were afraid that the WFL was a serious contender against the NFL that would put them out of business, so they had to make sure no other players would leave, so they gave them a raise. But the WFL did not last long for business. Larry Csonka ended up with the Giants after they went out of business. Jim went to Denver, lasted only for 2 years because he didn't love the game anymore. Morris did not last long because of injuries and butting heads with Don Shula. And so he was traded. He was claimed off waivers, but Miami did him wrong by trading him to the Chargers because they weren't that good at the time, and was really disappointed. So he quit. Csonka went back in '79. Csonka went back to Miami to retire as a Miami Dolphin. Ended up being the leading rusher for the Dolphins all time, and he could not take any more because he was a lean rusher and was taking more of a hit. He was carrying the ball 25 to 30 times a game. In '72, Nixon was in trouble and was not able to get into the White House for that White House visit as a championship team. So in 2013, Obama invited them, got them in the White House for their visit, and was able to enjoy that. Mercury Morris was in prison for 3.5 years for drug trafficking, but was not really, because it got reduced, and it was it could have been 25 years, but they reversed everything for 3.5 years, and he accepts the blame for hanging out with the wrong guys and the type of crowd he was hanging out at the time. So go ahead and like, share, comment, subscribe, share it with anybody you can to if you liked it, and subscribe to help support this channel for more news and NFL and stuff like that. Thanks.